Coming up, Election Day coverage from Coconino County. Plus, a fire at one of NAU's fraternity houses. The news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Hannah Ware.
And I'm Liam Combs. Thanks for tuning in. Well, we made it. Today's election day across the country, and here in the battleground state of Arizona, the heat is on as the tightly contested races for governor and U.S. Senate are underway. Jacob Aries starts us off tonight with election coverage here in Coconino County.
Student reporter Jacob Aries outside the J. Lawrence Walk-Up Sky Dome on NAU South Campus, where locals are casting their votes for the general election.
NAU student Alexandra Delstein says she's been collecting signatures on a petition that would, among other things, give students Election Day off.
Yeah, we've actually been doing a lot of phone banking, so we call people who have already signed our petition and just ask them if they have a plan to vote and make a plan to vote with them.
Delstein says the petition also calls on NAU to allow voter registration at freshman orientation. Outside of the Sky Dome, volunteers from the group Election Protection, which claims to be nonpartisan, have been on standby to handle any voter fraud or intimidation.
We kind of just work to help people feel safe at the polls and to stop voter intimidation, which has been happening in areas like in Maricopa County, and that's not cool.
As far as the voters are concerned, Flagstaff local Nick, who did not want to give his last name, says he feels confident.
This time, yes, I did not feel that way in 2020 at all.
In-person voting at the Sky Dome is open until 7 p.m. Parking is offered for free to anyone. Jacob Aries, NAZ Today.
The Justice Department is deploying election monitors to 64 jurisdictions in 24 states to curb voter intimidation. And 5 of Arizona's counties are being observed by personnel from the Civil Rights Division and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Coconino County is not included in this list. The department says they will be available all day to receive complaints of possible voter violations of federal voting rights laws. To get in touch, you can call 800-253-3931. Speaking of Coconino County, Elections Director Esler Mosta says voter turnout has been very healthy and wait times are low. As far as the results, Mosta says due to the influx of mail-in ballots this year, people will have to be patient as the counting takes place.
The first batch of results is going to be released at 8 o'clock tonight on the election night results that is hosted by the state, where all the counties are going to be posting their election results, and then every hour to an hour and a half we'll release and post election day results from the polling places that are coming in and are being tabulated at our central counting location.
Mosa says there has been no cases of voter intimidation in Coconino County, and the process is going smoothly.
Down in Maricopa County, Arizona's family reports that multiple polling locations were having issues with the tabulator machines. The election department reports about 60 locations were not able to accept ballots. Officials have identified the problem and say the issue was due to printing settings in the machines and have been able to get 17 locations back up to speed thus far. Federal cybersecurity officials told Reuters, quote, "There is no specific or credible threat to disrupt election infrastructure." In other news, members of the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity say they are lucky to be alive after a fire destroyed their home, known as the Pike House, Monday morning. Fortunately, everybody did make it out safe with no injuries. I spoke with the president of the chapter, Drake Lane, to figure out how this happened.
Shock, sadness, kind of a little bit of both.
Around 5:30 in the morning on Monday, the Pike fraternity suffered a devastating loss when the house caught on fire. 11 members were saved by a neighbor who noticed the flames and saved the day.
Looked out the window and then I kind of woke some of the other guys up and we all ran over there, tried to help as much as we could. We just tried to bang on doors, make as much noise as possible, wake up guys.
For Holmes, he says it wasn't a question of what to do when he saw the fire.
Fight or flight, just right away. I was like, okay, we got to help them. it doesn't matter if they're our neighbors, we still got to help people out.
Lane says if it weren't for the neighbor's heroic act, the incident could have been fatal.
Started throwing rocks through his window, and when like the shattered window started happening, it woke him up finally. And once he woke up, he went through and pounded on all 7 of the other guys' doors, and one by one started getting everybody out.
The cause of the fire is still unknown, but he says it might have been an electrical spark. Others, however, say hot coals from a fire pit nearby may have spread to the house. Lane says the overwhelming support from the Flagstaff community has turned a tragic situation into something to be grateful for.
It's been kind of a cool thing, and I think it started to boost our guys' morale a little bit, just kind of seeing how many people do care about us and seeing how many people want to make sure the Pike boys are okay.
Hannah Ware, NAZ Today.
A GoFundMe was created to cover the loss of personal items, displaced members, and rebuilding the home.
Flagstaff was jam-packed over the weekend as alumni and students alike celebrated homecoming.
NAZ Today's Lena Saltzbar there joins us in the studio with the recap.
Thanks, Hannah. NAU campus was buzzing for a whole week to celebrate homecoming. Carnival, bonfire, and the football game were just some of the highlights.
The festivities began Thursday and finally wrapped up Saturday with a parade and, of course, the game.
I guess we're here to get some nice pancakes and
have some fun.
Have some fun.
Be with friends.
It's a
nice
Saturday?
It's nice weather. It's a
Friday?
weekend. We
What
just
day
having
is
fun.
Starting the morning off with pancakes, games and face painting, the homecoming parade was the first highlight of the day right after, and the sides of the streets were crowded with cheering students and alumni.
It's just so much fun to come back and see how much it's changed, and my daughter graduated 2 years ago, so it's fun to come up and see her and do a homecoming with her. We came to see the parade because we love to support all of the cheerleaders, and I was a member of KATS, president of KATS when I was here, so we love to see them.
Some people came extra early to get a good spot in the stands. For them, homecoming is always special.
Homecoming means being able to connect both alumni and students, kind of like us, because being able for alumni to connect with where they originally went to school and understand why we came here in the first place, and what about for
Football, tailgating, and tequila.
This year's homecoming was dedicated to Alicia Wojtek. She has worked for NAU for 27 years, and even though she was chosen by the student organizations nearly a month ago, she says it's still a bit overwhelming.
I've worked with students and staff for so many years, but to just have that honor, really this is the most meaningful honor that I've ever had, and it's out of my comfort zone to be singled out, because really it's about being surrounded by amazing people, and so it was great to celebrate with them.
The tailgate and the NAU football game finished the homecoming celebrations, connecting students and alumni once again.
Go Jacks!
Go Jacks! Go Jacks!
Lena Zaubzer, NAZ Today.
Each week we do a segment where we showcase pets who are up for adoption at the Coconino Humane Association.
NAZ Today's Jordan Valander introduces us to a dog that can be best described as energetic and outgoing.
Thanks, Liam. For this week's Pet of the Week, I met up with Ranch, a 3-year-old lab mix. He can definitely add some flavor to your life. Let's go check it out.
Ranch is energetic and loves to run around in big environments.
He's a very high energy dog. He needs somebody who's going to be able to run him around a lot. Needs a big yard, something like that. Somebody can burn off a bunch of the energy he's got.
This pup loves to be around people and be the center of attention.
He's a very nice dog. He likes people a lot, but he does not care for other animals, so he definitely needs to be into a home where he's going to be the only animal. Probably not going to want to take him over to your neighbor's house, that kind of stuff. You want to have him home alone, away from other animals.
While this dog has high energy, he can behave if trained properly.
He walks very well on the leash. He pulls a little bit because of the high energy, but as long as you keep him under control, he's okay.
Ranch is up for adoption for $215, which includes all of his shots and microchip. Visit the Coconino Humane Association or go online to coconinohumane.org. Jordan Valander, NAZ Today.
Coming up, what the midterms mean for control of the U.S. House of Representatives. Stay with us.
if you've already been outside tonight, you probably know what I'm talking about, but the wind is insane right now. We have wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, and it's knocking up quite a lot of dust. We're seeing some dust storms in some certain areas with a lot of dust. We also have a new storm system moving in. That's going to bring some snow and rain to northern Arizona. But just like last week, that is going to go away, and we're going to have sunny skies once again with a warming trend. I'll have more on weather, so stay with us after the break.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Welcome back. CNN reports that there is a winner of that record $2.4 billion Powerball jackpot. The winning ticket was sold in Altadena, California, according to state lottery officials. USA Today reports that this is the largest lottery jackpot ever won.
In other national news, the party that wins control of the U.S. House as a result of today's election will be able to pick the next House Speaker. Two people are likely vying for this role. CNN's Amy Kiley reports on their pitches to voters.
Control of the U.S. House is on the line today, and the winning party will have the power to pick the House Speaker.
If we win the majority, I'll run for Speaker.
Representative Kevin McCarthy of California is minority leader now. Here's what the Republican says he would do in the top job.
First thing we're going to do is make sure an economy that's strong. I think the first thing you'll see is a bill to control the border first. The first thing, I'll ask the president not to call half the nation idiots.
Incumbent House Speaker Nancy Pelosi gave this message to voters last night.
A vote tomorrow is a vote to defend our democracy.
For the first time, she has opened up about the attack on her husband October 28th. She says she wasn't there when the intruder broke into their home because she was sleeping in Washington.
I hear the doorbell ring and think, it's 5-something, and I'm thinking my children, my grandchildren.
David DePape is charged with attempted murder for the attack. He has pleaded not guilty.
For me, this is really the hard part because Paul was not the target, and he's the one who's paying the price.
Asked if she'll retire if Democrats lose the House.
I have to say my decision will be affected about what happened the last week or two.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Paul Pelosi is recovering from a surgery to repair a skull fracture. His wife says he's doing well, but he's in for a long recovery. Stay tuned after the break for a look at weather with Tori Smith.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Welcome back to NAZ Today, you guys. My name is Tori Smith, and I am here to bring you weather on this windy Tuesday evening. Now, currently, we have a wind of southwest of 16 miles per hour, and those gusts are jumping up to 40 miles an hour, and that's knocking up some dust as well, giving us some dusty skies. Temperature currently at 45 degrees, but those winds are going to make it feel a lot cooler than that. Barometric pressure is sitting at 29.99, and as science says, if it drops below 30, that typically means a storm's coming in, and that science is correct because we have a storm moving in from the coast and is coming in from California, especially from my hometown in San Diego. It's going to be pushing through to Arizona, and we should be expecting some precipitation by tomorrow morning. Now, taking a look at our high for today, our high today was 44 degrees. Low tonight going to drop down to 38 degrees, and we're pretty on average with those records, about 10 degrees cooler than our average high. So 55 degrees as the average high and 44 as our high for today. Now, since January 1st, we've had 15.71 inches of precipitation, and we're still about 2 inches of precipitation off. So hopefully by tomorrow, that should be adding to our total. Now, high temperatures across the state for today are all pretty similar. 60 degrees in Grand Canyon, 65 degrees in Kingman, 71 in Winslow, and 67 in Hopi. So we're seeing this trend of the 60s and 70s, except for Phoenix at our highest point at 80 degrees for today. Now here tonight in Flagstaff, low tonight going to be 38 degrees, windy and dusty. That wind is going to continue throughout the night. Remember, those gusts are about 40 miles per hour. Chance of showers tonight as well. That's going to be around midnight, and yeah, it's going to be absolutely beautiful, but remember that low is 38 degrees, so we're probably not going to be seeing that snow yet, considering freezing is 32 degrees. Now tomorrow, our forecast high is going to be 41, and there's those snow showers, chance of snow showers in the forecast. Sunrise is going to be at 6:55 for you early birds, and sunset at 5:24 p.m. Now taking a look across the state for tomorrow, 52 is our high in Kingman. Now the entire state is seeing a cold front here. We got 64 as a high down in Phoenix. Now that's pretty cold for a Phoenix high. 49 degrees is our high in Payson, 51 degrees as our high in Tuba City, and 52 degrees as our high in Page. Taking a look here in Flagstaff, we're seeing a warming trend continue. 41 degrees on Wednesday, going to jump up to 41 degrees, actually the same temperature on Friday. Sunny skies for your beautiful Veterans Day, and it's just going to continue to get warmer throughout the week. So we're seeing very similar conditions to what we saw last week, where it was snowy one day and then just sunny the rest, and we're seeing the exact same thing this week. So tomorrow, expect snow and then sunny skies once again. We'll have more on weather, sports, and news, so stay with us after the break.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple?
Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have another bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Hello, and welcome back to NAZ Today. My name is Tyler Murphy, and I will be your sports reporter for the night. Ahead of the crosstown rivalry football game this Thursday, freshman quarterback Chase Brown is currently holding the most passing touchdowns in a single game record. Take a look. Since 2020, it seemed like we've seen it all, but then the Flagstaff Eagles freshman quarterback Chase Brown took down a 38-year-old school record in his first start. With Brown's early success on the gridiron, there has been a learning curve involved with adjusting to playing under the lights.
The atmosphere is a lot different. It's super fun being in that atmosphere, the student section, the band. It's just great to play under the lights, especially in the dome.
With the new atmosphere arises a new set of challenges, and Brown has had to acclimate himself into getting down the speed of varsity football.
Definitely the speed of the game. Everything moves a lot faster, so you got to always be prepared. You mess up, you got to be ready for the next snap. You don't really have time to dwell on anything.
There was no real learning curve as Brown in his first start broke his school's record for most passing touchdowns in a single game with 6 and got the Eagles out of a losing streak that started last season. Brown was quick to give credit to his team for his early success in his short career.
All the wide receivers, they helped me out a ton. Our whole starting line, couldn't do anything without them, so they've taught me a lot. It's just been great.
Darren Brown, dad, Eagles alumni, and the offensive and defensive lineman coach praised his son's performance.
I'm super proud of him. He went out and performed like he's capable, and his team backed him up, and it's awesome.
You can watch Chase Brown at the rivalry game at Coconino High School this Thursday at 7 p.m. If you can't make it out, it will also be streamed on nfhsnetwork.com. Talking about the other sport that uses a foot and a ball, NAU women's soccer came home this weekend securing the title of Big Sky champs, defeating the Idaho Vandals in a match that went all the way to penalty kicks. At the end of PKs, it was the Lumberjacks on top 4-3. The same 4 who made the goals were named Big Sky All-Tournament team. Maddie Schaefer, Mikhail Johnson, Riley Curran, Abby Donathan, followed with Jesse Novak and goalkeeper Trinity Cochran, who also was named MVP of the tournament with 17 total saves. The championship win means the Lumberjacks will host the Big Sky Conference tournament next year. Also winning it all, the Lumberjacks advanced to the NCAA tournament and will play the UCLA Bruins at 6 p.m. Friday in Los Angeles. The Lumberjacks men's basketball team took a trip to East Lansing to take on the Michigan State Spartans for some Big Ten competition on Monday night. The Lumberjacks fell 73-55, but despite the 18-point loss, the game was a lot closer than it seemed, with the Lumberjacks always being in range to bring the game back to make the Spartans sweat. For the Spartans, it was a team-shared win, with almost everyone contributing a bucket to the score and shooting for 44% in field goal and 33% from deep range, while the Lumberjacks only shot 31% and 26% in the same categories. Jalen Cone was the Lumberjacks' highest scorer with 20 points, while also getting 4 assists and 10 rebounds, securing a double-double. Going from one Power 5 conference to another, the Lumberjacks are keeping that heat, next visiting the Arizona Sun Devils this Thursday, November 10th at 7 p.m. Well, that's all we have for Northern Arizona sports tonight. Tune in after the break for your weather recap.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at savethefood.com.
Welcome back to NAZ Today, you guys. We got quite the forecast. Snow tomorrow, and then we're going to see quite the warming trend throughout the week. Now, something that I just can't get my mind off of is that lotto being $2.4 billion. Now, personally, I think I would donate most of that money and take everybody I know out of debt. But what would you guys do?
I think I would invest in the mayor and then have to think about all the decisions I'd have to make after. What about you, Liam?
I don't know. You guys seem very generous. I don't know. I'd be a little bit more, I don't know, conceited with it. I don't know. Just maybe. But move to the Bahamas, something like that. How about you, Hannah?
Easy answer for me, a 1969 Ford Mustang in a cherry red color.
Sounds pretty nice.
All right, well, that is all we have for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check us out on our social media platforms as well as our website at naztoday.com. Have a great rest of your night.